Oh, definitely. But how are you feeling? What's the ailment?
No, I'm just having a runny nose, sneezing and stuff like that. But I should be fine.
You are fine. You're a child of God.
Amen.
So tell me, Ebony, you had a show in an event. Sorry, the media thing is always in my head. Show, show, show. You had an event in Nigeria in October. Before we go, into the session, because Women of Rubies, of course, supported with media. Just want to know more about that event and, what it was all about, the impact you made with that event.
Okay, so the event that we went to go and do in Nigeria, that was the launch of our sister arm of our organization, Elevate Her UK.
Mhm,
So we've been running a not-for-profit organization supporting young girls and women,
mhm,
young boys as well, the youth
mhm,
in the UK. And
mhm.
the one that we did in Nigeria was to launch our sister arm, which is Elevate Her Africa.
Okay.
That was very successful. We had a lot of people support us, people that I didn't even expect. They came, they supported us. Even the ones that couldn't make it, they still, people supported us through other means,
Mhm.
Also, thank you very much as well, because you sent some books to our young people. They really appreciated that.
No
Thank you.
problem. No problem. It's what we love to do. And, when I see folks like yourself who, just want to give back, of course, in our own little way. And like I told you the first time that we had our live session, on Zoom, I said that, you remind me of the kind of energy and that energy folks have been saying, oh, Esther, where is it? And I'm like, no, sometimes let's just lay back and support the people who would carry on the vision. And I'm really, really proud of you. Women of Rubies will always support your organization in any capacity, whatever it is you're doing. And, I saw the photos from the event, and I think I did send you a DM to say, well done. Just you being able to put that together, coming from one continent, to Africa to organize that in Nigeria. So it's a big deal. So well done, Ebony.
Thank you so much.
And of course, I'm very, 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 very proud of you. For those who don't know Ebony, Ebony King, she is a youth advocate, community leader, and youth mental health first aider. Ebony is British born, so in case you see the accent, she's not from me. It is not audio. With Nigerian ethnicity. She's the founder of Elevate Her UK, a non-profit organization that provides support to vulnerable teenage girls and young women from disadvantaged backgrounds. And, that, takes me to the first question for today on the show. Oh, by the way, for those who are just joining, because I know there are a couple of people who perhaps don't know me. My name is Esther Ijawere. I am a journalist, author. I'm the founder of Women of Rubies and Rubies Inc. Initiative for Women and Children. I write for the Guardian newspaper, Nigeria, and the Nigerian Canadian newspaper here in Canada. So I'm your host for today, and I'm very, very glad to be hosting the amazing Ebony King. So Ebony, who is Ebony King? For those who don't know you, who are you? Tell us more about you, because people are asking when I posted, hey, where's that wish? I'm like, join the session for you to know more about her. So who is Ebony King?
Okay, like you've already said, I'm a youth advocate. I'm the founder of Elevate Her UK, and I'm a mother. Yeah, and I just support young people. I'm a community leader, so I join in. I do community organizing. I do campaigns, just trying to serve the community, better the community for our children, for our families. And yeah, that's it really.
Amazing. Amazing. And, talking about motherhood, I don't know if that's a bit of the lived experience you want to share, because I know you did tell me that, some information, you don't want to share publicly. But then just because, of course, we're talking about, from Shambles to elevation, and a couple of people joined, of course, to know more about your lived experience before I go into your work life, right? So of course, that was what inspired you, like you told me, to start Elevate Her UK. So can you tell us a bit about that, just your lived experience, that propelling factor that made you start Elevate Her UK?
Okay, so about 14 years ago, I became a teenage mother. Back then, it was, there still was a little bit of a stigma, but it was very, it was wild back then. The stigma of number one, being from a Nigerian background, you know, with strict, well, my mum was quite strict, but being from a Nigerian or an African household, you getting pregnant as a teenager was a big deal. Especially as I was supposed to go into uni, and I had to take a break to look after my child, as I had just had a child then. So yeah, the experiences that I had as a teenage mum is what made me stronger and made me feel that when I'm old enough to, you know, to have the resources and the time, I would like to help other young girls that went through things that I went through. Because aside from, you know, leading up to me becoming a teenage mum, there were things I experienced and there were things that I witnessed, which, you know, was the result of me becoming a teenage mum. And I think that those issues need to be addressed, and a lot more young girls need to be supported. They need to be heard. I was labeled as a bad child, or as the black sheep of my family. And instead of them, you know, talking about me negatively, they should have supported me. And I mean, I don't just mean like with my parents, I mean external family members as well, you know. And even the schools in the UK, they don't really support people back then. Everything's changed, you know. Mental health issues, if you mentioned that you were suffering from anything, or you were experiencing any stress, depression or anxiety, people look down on you and think that, oh, you're crazy, or things like that, you know. So yeah, those experiences made me start Elevate Her UK.
Amazing. And, you know, I remember in your interview with Women of Rubies, when I interviewed you, you talked about the stigmatization, right? How were you, you know, able to just sort of like pull through that moment in your life with the stigmatization in the society and just sort of like put your head up high? How are you able to do that?
To be honest, for me, because I've always been the type of person, like, I don't care. Even when I was younger and my mum's family, or not just my mum, like family, extended family members, when they did used to say things, it didn't bother me. Like, it will go in one ear, it will come out the other, but I didn't let it stop me. I'm the type of person that I don't let negativity like dwell on me. I just push it to the back and I just rise above it. So I do a lot of ignoring. You know, I ignore a lot of negative. When I see that there's a negative situation, I just ignore them. So I think I was able to ignore and not care about the negative things people say about me, and I was just pushing forward. And I've always been like a go-getter. I know what I want, and I make sure that I do what I say I'm going to do. So.
Yeah. Amazing. And, you know, what were some of the high point of your life from that moment, right? From the girl who was judged as a teenage mom to the girl who is now, you know, Ebony King, right? What was that eureka moment for you that just made you realize, listen, I am turning this pain to my purpose? What was that moment for you? That high moment for you?
I don't think there was one particular. There's been so many. But I know, you know, as I started growing older, I started doing research on what I want to do, you know, and I said, okay, I have to go back to uni. I need to go and get a degree. I need to, you know, there are things that I need to do. So I think as I started getting old, my son started getting older as well, I started looking at him, and it started becoming a reality that I'm actually looking after someone else. I'm responsible for someone's feeding. I'm responsible for someone's welfare. You know, it's not just about me anymore. It's about I'm a human being. So I think at that point, that's what made me wake up and think that I have to change my life around.
Amazing. And, you know, speaking of your son, how old is he now?
He'll be 14 on this month, 22nd of this month.
How do you feel when you look at him now as a big boy, because that's what I'm going to call him? And I mean, do you have thoughts like, oh my God, I gave birth to this amazing champion, right? This young man who is going to be king to somebody someday. You know, do you have those moments? Just reflecting.
Yes, I do. It's just so, the way time flew is ridiculous. I don't understand how it just flew. Time flies so much, and when I look at him, because he's taller than me now, a lot of people, they're like, oh, he looks like your brother, like you guys look like brother and sister. you know, I just can't believe it. When I go to his school sometimes and meet his friends, they're always like, oh my gosh, Makai's mom. Like they talk to me like I'm I'm their age mates. I mean, they respect me, but it's like, you know, like we're friends, and they're just always like, you know, they even can't believe it as well. You know, I am that I'm his mom. But yeah, he's a big boy, and I'm very proud of him as well because he's doing really well in school. He's a straight A student. He always has good reports from the teachers. So I'm happy that he's actually doing well.
Amazing. And, you know, your work with vulnerable girls and women in the UK through Elevate Her UK, how has that impacted you, Ebony King, right? Because, you know, a lot of us, you know, as frontliners, as advocates, when we do the work, we point to other people. So I always ask people, do you stop sometimes to just pour into yourself and just listen, right? You know, there was a moment in my life that I was like this, right? And now I am this person who is pointing to, you know, all the people. So do you experience that? You know, just those moments of knowing you are the energy other people are feeding off from, right? So how do you balance your energy being the one feeding, you know, feeding other people, and you just taking time sometimes to just take it on in? And I appreciate the work that you're doing for these young girls in the UK.
Luckily, majority of our work is project based. So we might have a project for 6 to 8 weeks, then there'll be a break. You know, have a project for 12 weeks and then there'll be a break. So I think, you know, having those regular breaks are very important because I re-energize myself. Also, the organization, we have to have a good strategy. So I have to take, you know, as well as having a break for me to re-energize my brain, I have to re-strategize how this organization is going to grow and how we're going to continue to be able to support young people. You know? So, yeah, like, that's it really, to be honest. I have to take regular.
That's good. So now tell us more about the projects. You mentioned projects, some of these projects that you do at Elevate Heart UK, and you know how you're trying to sort of integrate, you know, those projects into the Nigerian system right now. I mean, that's one of the programs that came to in October. So tell us more about the program in the UK, some of those activities you mentioned, the impact, you know, these projects have had over time, and the Nigerian part of it. Yeah.
Okay, so in the UK, we started off with one-to-one mentoring sessions where we spend time with the young girls, and you know, where we provide a listening ear. We do activities to build their self-confidence. We signpost them to external organizations that they may need. We also do empowerment workshops where, because that young people at this moment in time, they can't really afford to enroll themselves into certain extracurricular activities. So our organization will pay for them to learn certain skills, such as doing hair, doing makeup, doing lashes, or even just self-defense, first aid and stuff like that. We get facilitators to come in and we do that. So yeah, and also we do outreach as well. We go to mother and baby hostels, we talk to them, we motivate them. Just teach them that, you know, you can turn your life around from being in a negative situation. You can actually turn it to a positive. You just have to believe in yourself. So we brought that to Nigeria. We have partner schools, you know, we've partnered with schools in Nigeria, and we've delivered some of the empowerment workshops that we've done in the UK. We've delivered some, and they're, you know, it's good because I hear a lot of young people, especially the Nigerian school children, they were so happy. They were like, you know, we did a photography and a digital marketing workshop. And some of those children, they were like that. Some of them didn't even know how to handle a camera before we came. You know,
Wow.
They didn't know how to use a camera. Some of them said they haven't even touched a camera before. So that was very touching to me, and that's good, you know. We also do youth safety campaigns where we raise awareness and find solutions on issues such as peer pressure, gang grooming, sexual exploitation, street harassment, you know, because it's happening a lot in the UK, and it's also happening in Africa, in worldwide, it's happening globally. So it's very important for us to be able to speak to the young people, show them, you know, tell them that if you are going through these things, you need to speak up, you need to report it, you know, or your friends going through these things, you need to speak up, you need to report it, don't stay silent. And we also show them signs to look for and inform them of the necessary organizations or people that they should contact.
Oh, great. And I also know that your work got the attention of a cabinet member in the UK. I mean, when I read that part in your profile, I was pretty much inspired. And, you know, just tell us about that. How, you know, did your work get the attention of this cabinet member in the UK?
Okay, I started a campaign called Protect Her. That was based on the street harassment and peer-to-peer abuse. So I directed and produced a short video on YouTube where some of the young people were sharing their experiences, male and female, because let's not forget, it's not just girls that, you know, are in these situations. And also some boys are not even educated on this. So we included boys and girls wanting to get perspective from both sides. So that campaign video, when it got uploaded on YouTube, my local newspaper of Barking and Dagenham, one of the journalists, they caught onto it. They, you know, and then when they posted it, and then when they printed out the newspaper, the council leader, Councillor Darren Rodwell, he runs the whole of Barking and Dagenham. He saw it and he shared it on his Facebook and on his Instagram and on his Twitter page. So that was
Amazing.
Other councillors and cabinet members saw it, and then they reached out to me. And the cabinet member for community safety, Councillor Margaret Mullane, she's an advocate for women and girls. So she, you know, she was really interested in what I've been doing. So when she saw that, she contacted me and invited me to her office for us to talk, to get to know each other and see how we can continue making the place safer for young people and women.
And how did that make you feel?
Oh,
being recognized.
Yeah, it made me feel really good. I was surprised, but I was also happy. You know, that at least our voices are being heard, you know?
Yes.
So,
Yes, that's very powerful, you know, just to know that someone, how they, you know, identify with you and the work that you're doing. And was this recognition the reason why you were, you know, nominated as the Volunteer of the Year, I believe? Was it, you know, that was just something else that happened based on your own passion and, you know, community service?
I think, yeah, it was linked, because in Barking and Dagenham, they look at all the things that you've been doing. So that definitely was, you know, one of the reasons, because of my campaign, my Protect Her campaign, and they saw that in a short space of time, I was able to make all these connections, connect with the youth, make connections with council members, you know, even that the journalists were picking me up, because my campaign was featured on ITV News, it was featured on BBC Radio London. It wasn't just my local newspaper that picked it up, it was national. So I think they had seen the work that I had been putting in, and that's what led me to being nominated. Yeah.
Great. And, you know, you also have a project that I really want to talk about extensively, because I know a lot of people are into sanitary pads, sanitary towel, hygiene for female. The first question is, how, you know, is this project, right? You know, when it comes to the female hygiene, how is it impacting your community? What impact have you heard with your partnership with HASTAR? I know you have a partnership with HASTAR, right? And so what impact, you know, has it had so far since you started, you know, this sanitary towel distribution, I believe, you know, supporting women who cannot afford sanitary towel? So what impact has it had? Is it just limited to your community in Barking, or it's you know, just a project that you do wherever and whoever gets the support?
Okay, so with the ASDA partnership that we have, that one was for International Women's Day this year in March. They supported us because they know that we work with vulnerable homeless women in the YMCA hostel. So, you know, what they gave us the sanitary towels in bulk, feminine hygiene products, they were deodorant as well. So that was for that. But we as well, Elevate Her UK on our own, we actually go and distribute feminine hygiene products to mother and baby hostels, to hostels where underage girls are living, because not just with the cost of living crisis, it's not easy as a mother, as a single mother, you know, young girls, it's not easy for them. So it's something that I do to give back. I remember when I was when I had just had my son as a teenager, and I had to stay in a homeless hostel for a while. You know, things weren't really easy, and they used to come around and give us some like hampers with food and stuff, but they didn't think there's other certain necessities that we would need. I mean, I'm grateful that they gave us the bread and the tin stuff, but it would have been nice if they thought about the sanitary towels as well, because yeah, it's quite expensive as well. You know, everything is expensive, so yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I have to touch back on, you know, your experience as a teen mom. If you were to advise a teen mom right now, a young woman who is probably going through what you had to go through, you know, to get to the stage, what would you say to her? One who is stigmatized by a family, by a community, judged wrongly. What would you say to this young woman right now?
I would say to any young mom or teenage mom or even any single mom, I would say just try to stay strong, believe in yourself, and look, if you're suffering, look for a support system somewhere. If you feel like your family are judging you, there are there's national phone lines or helplines that you can contact and just speak to someone. You can't just keep it all in, because if you keep it all in, it's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your physical health. The person you're telling, they may be able to have a solution for you. You understand that you may not want to tell certain friends or family because you might be, but telling a professional, speaking out to a professional will definitely help. So that's what I would advise them to do. Speak out if you're struggling. Don't suffer in silence. And also believe in yourself. You can get through it. You can if you put into it, and if you can get through whatever challenge you're.
Amazing. And to people who stigmatize, you know, this teenage mothers or single mothers, as the case may be, what do you have to say to them?
To people that stigmatize, I would say, stop judging people, because you don't know what these people are going through. And not every teenage mom or single mom did it intentionally to put themselves in that situation. You don't know what the story is behind it. Like, you don't know. So stop judging people, and instead of judging and gossiping and talking negatively about them, try and offer a helping hand. You know, that's what I would say to them.
Yeah, amazing. And I mean, before we, wrap up the session, this is something I usually ask in my interviews. It's like a signature question when I interview folks in my, print version. 3 women who inspire you and why? Because it's very important for us to know where the strength comes from. Who are these 3 women out there who you look up to, you admire, and when you look at them, they give you strength? Kindly, tell us about them. Number
1, I would say my mum. Even though in my teenage years, we didn't really have, we were going back and forth. I didn't really listen. I used to rebel a lot, so I didn't listen to her, and we used to clash a lot. But the reason why I would say my mum is because despite everything, she was a very strong woman. She was a single mother. I think when I was like age 6 or 7, that's when she became a single mother from then on. And she had to raise 2 children on her own. It wasn't easy back then in the UK, being a black woman, single, So I would say her. She had a lot of jobs. She didn't let us suffer. She tried to give us the best. So I wouldn't say, I'll say my mum is number 1. Number 2, because there's so many inspirational women out there. That's the thing. So it's hard to even choose. But 2, I would say you as well. You.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, one thing I liked about you is that you have so many hats that you put on. So you have so many things that you're doing. So many good things that you're doing, positive and motivational things you're doing.
Thank you.
So
thank you for that.
And then 3, any woman that is, that's striving to look after her kids, or even striving to look after herself. They may not be mothers, but they're strong. dedicated, focused woman,
Mm-hmm.
you know, striving hard to do what she needs to do to get by.
Mm-hmm.
Like lazy. So any active, hardworking woman, positive, they inspire me.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, for that. And talking about women who are resilient, it's very, very important because sometimes, like you said, people don't know the story and the judge. And being a single mother myself, where I cannot say I can identify fully with what you've been through, but we are mothers. So being mothers, that's the sisterhood right there, that everyone should hold it to. And your project with teenage girls, do you have plans at some point, especially disadvantaged girls in Nigeria who find themselves in that situation? Do you have any plan at all, Elevate Her UK to just support these girls in Nigeria? Do you have any plans at all for them?
Definitely. We're going to open, so our services in Nigeria is not just going to be empowerment workshops in schools or outside of schools. We're going to definitely open up more. And we hope to bring our Protect Her campaign to Nigeria and, that. So, yeah, definitely. We're going to help them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I one thing that I wish, I don't know what your plans are. You talked about you being in a shelter, I believe, when you were going through your situation. I hope that the Nigerian government would partner with someone like you to have a shelter for not just women like that, but with young girls who are from disadvantaged background, young girls who are forced to go into the streets to do things that they don't want to do. And of course, when things go south, the parents of these young girls still get to blame them. So that's my own picture. In my heart, what I wish for is safe space for these young girls, because it's always good when we talk about it like this. But the truth is that the young girls we speak today, there's a young girl in Nigeria somewhere who is hopeless. Teenage mother, being judged, nobody caring for her. She has nowhere to go. And she's going to bring that child into a world of a lot of toxic energy and negativity, and then the cycle continues. So I hope that at some point your organization can do something for women like that, right? Because a friend of mine back home, this is a personal project that she runs on her own, right? She rented a place. It's a building with 4 flats. So she rented 2 flats at the back, a personal project. So every time I post something about a woman being abused, a woman going through domestic violence, she's always hopping my inbox to say, yo, if this person needs a safe space to stay for a bit, right? She can stay in this, in the safe house. Say like a month or 2, she caters for them, and that's it. Then before we integrate them back into the society. And in my head, I'm like, if we have more women like you, myself, and say like 10, 20, 50 other women doing that for those women out there who are vulnerable with no support system, it's going to make a lot of difference. So let's, so I'm putting that out to you,
Yes.
Ebony. It might be something that, you just want to look into at some point to, just, if it comes to your mind to do, that just came to my mind, I don't know how it feels like for these young girls, but I feel empathetic towards them when I hear stories like this, and it hurts me so much when I read stories of people judging them online. Like, you don't know what they're going through, right? Nobody wants to be in this situation. What if this girl was raped? What if she was violated? What if wasn't what she planned for? So yeah, so lastly, just a few words for young women like yourself out there who are in the advocacy sector and development sector. What would you say to them? For those who are watching you right now, how do you want to encourage them?
I would say for those in the advocacy sector, keep going. Sometimes it does get hard because you feel like, everyone, you're the light for everyone. And
Tell me about it.
So it will be hard, but if it's your genuine passion and you actually have a helping young people, then continue. Because for me, it's not strenuous for me because I actually enjoy helping people, young girls. I like helping young boys. I have a lot of young boys that look up to me. They're like my younger brothers in the area, So I'll just say, keep going, keep doing. Karma is real. When you do good, good. So
yes. Yes, and for those who probably want to, partner with you, because this video is going to be posted on YouTube, my YouTube channel. For those who want to partner with Elevate UK, how can they reach out to you, your organization? Just quickly, share that information with us.
You can either go on our website, which is www.elevateheruk.org, or you can send an email directly to me, Ebony King @elevateheruk.org.
All right.
Elevate.her.uk.
Yes, and you can reach out to her on Instagram. Our handle is on my page, at Ebony King. Please, if you have questions, you want to partner with her, Ebony King, she's done a lot of work. And she has more plans for Nigeria in 2023. Her interviews on womenofrubies.com as well. You want to know more about her work, kindly read that interview. She's one person that, the first time that I had a session with her, there was a lot of good energy, and I said, this young woman is going to go far. You can see the calm energy all around her. There is no gra-gra. There is no gra-gra. It's calmness, and people who are calm like this, they win in ways you cannot imagine. So, Ebony, thank you so much for the good work you're doing in the community. Thank you for giving back to the community in Nigeria. And of course, I hope that one day I can also partner with you here in Toronto, Canada for any project. Could be my own project that I would invite you for to come speak about your lived experience as well. So, and thank you for making that time. I know that you should be resting because of your health. So, and for everyone who joined, God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Ebony, of course, she had to defy all the health challenges today to join me on the program, and I don't take that for granted. To watch this video, oh, you did not get a handle. A handle is at Ebony. Please, can you type that out? Can you type out your handle for those who might not be able to see it on the screen? Yeah, Ebony King. Please follow her or just say hello. If you type something, they're going to see it.
Can I just say thank you to my people that joined
Yes.
in?
Yes, just yeah. So when you see the message, please follow her. Reach out to her. I want to know more about her work. And that's Ebony King for you, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Esther Ijewere. Ebony, thank you. Have a good one. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. And to everyone who joined, I see some of your people in the comments as well. Cheering you on. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. God bless you and have an amazing week. And to my Women of Ruby's team, Yinka, Charity, and every one of you, I see you guys. Thank you for joining. Have a good one, Ebony. Bye.
Bye.